In this video, we're going to do a turning drill. Now, as you can imagine, sparring matches are not linear. So outside of like fencing and, if I'm being polemist, kendo is also quite linear, although once you kind of get going. However, we're not going to be fighting linearly for the main reason of just human psychology, right? So if you see something increasing in size as it gets closer, your brain naturally wants to defend. So if I want to land that cut, and I'm like, you're gonna be like, oh, nope, I'm not letting that happen, right? Same thing if I see an object drastically get smaller, it makes me want to go after it, right? So if I'm here, and I'm just like, you just have a natural reaction to kind of follow after it, which is good if you're baiting someone. So if you're thinking about like Sangsu 3, right, where I'm kind of like, bang, and your opponent's like, gonna come after it and kind of bait. Hopefully this will work in gloves. It does, and you finish them off, right? However, we want to have a nice three-dimensional space, right? So using a drill we did last time, so instead of linearly going this way, just gonna go around the target. So the very first time you do this, again, you can use the two tips as a gauge, right? With the idea of me versus him, as opposed to two sword tips versus each other. But if you're new, use the sword tips. But if you're used to this, try to make heavy eye contact with your opponent as you start moving. But now instead of going linearly, again, for the very first time you do this, all I want you to do is move constantly in one direction, maintain that distance. So here, just turn, 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 turn. If you're feeling ambitious, you go the other way. If you're even more ambitious, you can go both ways. However, so once you kind of get the idea of that, this is going to be where we're going to have a lot more fun with three-dimensional movement, right? So as I said, if we're here and I go back this way, that triggers a reaction. However, so to over-exaggerate it, so I'm going to start really close here. So yes, I could go straight back and it triggers him to come close. However, if we're here, moving on the circle, I can actually get back my distance quite safely as we're moving around this way. Likewise, if I'm just out of range, I'm gonna be a little bit closer. To over-exaggerate, so obviously you don't want to be like this close after a while, but by turning that way, it's not going to trigger your opponent's brain to react. However, it is going to potentially work in your favor getting that distance. So once you're used to just constant distance, next round, I want you to think about, see if you can get closer and back away. For now, with the understanding that if I do get too close, your opponent's not gonna be like, ha ha, and destroy your wrist, right? So for now, I recommend, now that we're not doing a line drill front and back where it's very clear who's leading, have one person lead for like a set amount of time, and then just say switch. So I'll lead for now. So I can get a little bit closer as I turn, closer, and he wants to maintain that distance. I can slide back a little bit, he has to get a little bit closer. And likewise, we can go the opposite direction. Right? So in, and you kind of randomize it if I want to. And come around this way. Make sense? Used to the movement, right? So we've done constant, we've done going in and out. We've also gone randomized, so it's not just constantly going this way. You can kind of go both this way and back this way. Again, the idea of maintaining a nice circularity, right? Just in case it's, we can cover this concept. One reason why you want to be working on angles is, in theory, if I'm going on an angle and he hasn't changed, he is in my line of sight, but I'm no longer in his line of sight. Versus, if he's smart about it, if we both move, we're both going to be maintaining each other in our lines of sight, both of us trying to get out of theirs while maintaining them in ours. But, as with the last one, so if we're here, obviously if we're in middle guard, it's very clear how close we are. Versus, we use students and guards, again, you can start off quite linearly and just try and maintain the distance. If you want to pause and kind of just check, and go back. But it's kind of playing with different guards. And then we can start to play with distance, right? So obviously now I'm a little too far away, but maybe I want to be too far away. And if I kind of get a little closer, and if everyone wants to stop, pause, and check. It also works for you. So I highly recommend that if you've been doing this for a hot minute, don't rely on middle guard, right? Because middle guard is jack of all trades, master of none. It can get you anywhere, but it'll do it kind of like an okay way, right? Versus this, I can't really defend, but I can definitely bang, crash through with a nice powerful cut. So this is a nice offensive position, not really defensive. So again, this can defend anywhere, it can go anywhere, but kind of like at a 70% power. So try out those different guards, just circle around, try different things. If you want to be a jerk, you can kind of like do a little bit of shimmy, come back this way, here, speed things up, and all of that fun stuff. So as always, make sure you stay safe, stay humble, and keep training. Haidong!